Let's jump into it. The inside scoop with our inside linebacker, and maybe even more importantly for this, Broncos coach. Broncos coach in the training camp this year, Todd Davis, where after every single game, Todd's going to take us into the film to break down why the Broncos won, why they lost, what went wrong, what can they build off of. Todd, the floor is yours.
So there's just a few plays here. The all 22 footage took forever to come out. So we went to the game footage and were able to put together some plays for you guys. First off, I just wanted to kind of briefly get you guys to understand, why the game spiraled or what happened within the game. So this is the Broncos kind of starting the game off. They're in their penny package, which means there's 5 down D linemen. You got 3 D linemen, 2 outside linebackers, and you got a 1 inside linebacker in the game. And this is really a good package for the Broncos because it's good at stopping the run because most of the O linemen get one-on-one blocks or D linemen get one-on-one blocks. Plus, you can run any coverage you can think of out of it, so it's just awesome all the way around.
Wait, really quick, Todd, why is it called penny?
I don't know. I think that a lot of the packages are based off of coins. So you got nickel, you got penny, you got dime, you got you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think that's
quarters.
Quarters is the coverage, yeah. But a lot of the different packages are based off coins.
Okay. I was thinking about this because it is weird. They're all weird, but nickel means 5 DBs. Yeah. Dime, you add a 6th, which is worth more money.
No, it's not thought. It's not thought out. It's not thought out.
No,
they're just trying to keep it in the.
But then you have
family.
a quarter defense, which is 8 DBs, which is quarter. But then so penny was just like nickel because same number of DBs, but there's 1 less linebacker replaced with a rusher.
Yes.
So in theory, you're even less athletic overall, and so you go less than nickel to a penny.
Wow, so it's all based on how athletic your defense is.
I've never thought about
No, I've tried to. It
how
doesn't
it
really make
equates
sense.
to the worth of the coin. I can't lie.
I'm trying to galaxy brain this. I really
No,
do.
I think that it makes sense.
And so you think this is a strong package for the Broncos?
I think this is an awesome package for the Broncos. I mean, they have Pat Surtain, the best DB in football. I think Riley Moss, a really, really strong DB. But it doesn't mean they have to play man-to-man on the outside and let these guys rush. They can run whatever they want to out of this same package while also being very, very good in the run. So I think it's great for them. This right here is Alex Singleton's pick. And this was just showing, why did this pick happen? So they're in a zone coverage here, and Alex is sifting in between the hashes, what we like to say. And they're running these deep daggers, which means you get a vertical by 2 and you get a 12-yard in by number 1. But the reason why he gets his pick is because DJ Jones has a one-on-one block, which many of the D linemen do because of this penny package. So both tackles are on the island, one-on-one block. And the rest of the interior D linemen are all on one-on-one blocks. So it's basically if you choose to throw in this package, you better throw it out quick because everybody's hunting and going. If you choose to run, I don't really know where you want to run. Yeah. Alex Singleton is running over the top, making all the tackles. So very, very good for them. And I think that DJ Jones makes this play because he's able to win his one-on-one block. He does a lockout and pull. So he locks his body out and pulls his body through using the O lineman's body weight. He's able to get to the quarterback, cause an air and throw. And that's why this play works so well. So it's one, the defensive call I think was great to get them in one-on-one matchups to start the game, and then 2, just DJ Jones coming off and beating his man one-on-one. And that's the thing I feel like with a lot of these Broncos interior D linemen. I don't know who's blocking DJ Jones one-on-one. I don't think anybody can block Zach Allen. JFM is very good one-on-one, so this will be a strong package for the Broncos throughout the entire season.
Yeah, and you're getting rid of a linebacker to do it, which Cody Barton, Christian Welch didn't have great games. So it kind of makes sense that you would want to get those 5 on the field at the cost of a linebacker. It just seems like a good trade-off. The weird thing about this, though, is that the NFL counts 5 rushers as a blitz. And so officially, the Broncos blitzed 50% of the time against Seahawks passes, which is the highest rate of any team in the NFL. But most of those blitzes are just the 5 guys who are on the line of scrimmage are going. So it's not really a blitz in the first place.
Right.
No, it's just guys rushing.
Yeah.
And it's not disguised at all or anything like
exactly.
that. And this kind of is that we heard so much this offseason of the attack defense that the Broncos were going to have. And essentially what it boiled down to was everyone at the line of scrimmage is going to be able to purely rush the passer. instead of having to manage gaps and then try to help hold gaps or plug holes. It was just about everyone gets to rush the passer. And DJ Jones thought he was going to benefit greatly from this. And just the second play of the season, he benefits greatly from it.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be good for those guys. They're going to be hunting all year, so it's a great package. We used Penny a little bit when I paid for Vance, too, and I loved it, so it'll be good for him.
Disappointed you have never asked Vance, though. Why Penny?
Why the Penny? No. He said, Todd, you get to play more snaps. I said, all right, sounds good. All right, so this is right after the pick. Javonte takes the ball, gets 9 yards on the first play. This is 2nd and 1. And this is something that I feel like will get better over time and feel a little bit less chaotic for the Broncos. So as soon as they break the huddle, you can see Bo Nix is up at the line. And if you go to the next clip, he's talking to everybody on the line of scrimmage. I think he must have said something wrong in the huddle. Like there was a piece of the play that didn't get translated right, or he missed the word, and so he's going down the line communicating to everybody. But because of this, like time is running down, and then all of a sudden you see Troutman look at the clock, and he sends himself in motion before Bo, and then Bo kind of notices, and then sends the next tight end in motion. And I think that will get better over time and make this play feel like a little bit calmer for the Broncos to be able to execute at a high level.
And that's like a rookie mistake,
Yeah,
right there, and just on display on the second play of the offensive game.
Yeah, and I mean it's not a big deal, but I think that because of the situation and you want to get points and everybody's excited to get points, I think being a little bit more calm on the field for the team, I think will end up being a better result for the Broncos. But nevertheless, I thought that to your point earlier, can you go to the next? That's him talking next. Okay, so nevertheless, they get the ball to Javonte, and he is about to make the perfect cut.
It's going to be a touchdown.
It's going to be a touchdown. The offensive linemen do what they need to do. There's a huge gap on the right side of the line, and he is going to basically walk into the end zone if he's able to make this cut and keep his feet. But unfortunately, he falls down. So throughout the game, I think this is what was happening on offense. Like, the O-line would do a good job, and unfortunately, the turf monster gets a running back, which happens sometimes. Or, Bo Nix will make the right read. He sees him in zone coverage, gets the ball out. The wide receiver drops the ball. It just felt like that the entire game, and it feels like guys need to be on the same page, but it doesn't feel like, a world away from where they need to be.
Right. Yep. And then, how does this game go if they get a touchdown on this drive instead of a field goal? Sean Payton really talked about momentum shifts in this game. And obviously the Broncos had the momentum at the start of the game and for the entire first half. But what happens if the offense does punch it in on this? We might be talking about a whole different ball game. And Javonte talked after the game. He said, I was talking to one of the players on the Seahawks after the game, and they said they got new turf and it was slippery. You still have to keep your feet. You still have to make plays. Todd, is this something that the Broncos should have known and maybe they should have had different cleats? Because this wasn't the only time Javonte and Broncos slipped as well. Should they have had deeper cleats for this?
Yeah, sometimes you do know, and sometimes they're prepared to, pack an extra set of cleats. But it's usually for, different types of terrain. So, you got long turf, you got short turf, and you got to be able to play, or your cleats got to be able to match and for you to be able to really make moves and stick your routes. So usually they're prepared. But new turf, if it's just turf, I don't think there's anything you do for that. You know?
Okay, so it wasn't a coaching mistake then.
No.
Okay, that's good to know.
But people were slipping all game.
Yeah.
Like their receivers slipping downfield. There's all sorts of that sort of stuff.
As you mentioned,
it made a
Josh
big
Reynolds.
difference. Yeah, it's one of them.
Yep.
Like that, what was a catch that almost turned into an interception.
Yep.
Yeah, and the two surfaces are very different. So our guys practice on grass. We play on grass every single day. So the Seahawks may be a little bit more accustomed to, their training facility is turf. So they're used to cutting on turf, and the way that the sand and the beads slide under your feet as opposed to, ground gives a little bit is very different.
So then, Todd, leading up to a game, because last week the Broncos practiced outside on grass on Wednesday and Thursday. They went into the field house where it's turf on Friday, but Friday is the least practice of practices that they have. Do you think that it would benefit them to practice inside Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday when they play on turf that week?
You know, it's tough because playing on turf, like they say, is bad for your knees.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
actually don't want guys playing on turf, or you want them playing on turf as little as possible. So I think it's just as simple as like, hey guys, we're playing on turf this week. Make sure you keep your feet underneath you. You know, you don't have to make drastic jump cuts this game. Just make nice swift cuts to be able to get in and out of the turf.
Makes sense.
All right, so this is the next play. Oh, this is the defense. I think this is what changed the first half to the second half. So once again, they're in their penny package. They get a slot formation, and this is when I feel like the Broncos are at their best. Go to the next screen. This is just pure disruption. So you got Nick Bonito and Zach Allen hitting the running back. I think that's almost 5 yards deep, and that's just them getting off the ball, getting hands on their assignment, and then just out physicaling this Seahawks offensive line. I feel like this is what we did the entire first half of the game. And if you look at the film in the second half of the game, it felt more lateral as far as like their get-offs and them attacking. You didn't feel like they were attacking the field. But this was a great job by them getting off. And then Riley Moss ends up making this tackle on the outside. But I felt like everybody was playing downhill. Everybody was attacking. And I felt like this is what the Broncos are when they're at their best.
Attacking. We heard it all off season. Apparently that was their strength in the first half. And I wonder if something with attacking is something that Malcolm Roach told us yesterday after we did our show. He said one of the things that changed in the second half was the defense just lost their intensity. And I could see intensity and attacking kind of going hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that's part of the defense's DNA. Has to be.
Yep.
Has to be.
I
All
hope
right.
it is, because that first half was great.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. This is another clip just kind of showing how the game went, or, when Bo Nix did something good, the wide receivers didn't. When the wide receivers were open, Bo Nix necessarily didn't find them. So, Javonte started out in empty. And so it's being able to tell whether it's man or zone. So Javonte motions back in. Nobody comes back with him. Okay, now we know we have zone. And Bo Nix is, he obviously knows, okay, we got a wide receiver versus the linebacker at number 3. I'm going right there with the ball quick and in a hurry. So he makes the perfect read. The wide receiver beats the linebacker right off the ball. It's not even a question of if he's open, and the wide receiver drops the ball. I mean, there's nothing Bo Nix can do about that. I think he made the right read. It was the right play. It was the right call at the time. I mean, this is 3rd and 4. This is one of the 3 and outs we have in the ball game. If we catch this ball, the drive continues, and who knows how the entire game goes.
It's really, really good. And man, it just felt like no one could get on the same page. Like when Bo had a good play, the receivers or the offensive line dropped the ball, literally and figuratively. When the protection was good, Bo had an errant pass, and it just felt like things weren't clicking. And it's hard to imagine that keeps up for 17 games.
Yeah. No, I definitely don't think it will. And that's why I'm showing some of these clips, is that this is like correctable stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not going to be like this the entire year, and I think it can be fixed.
This one in particular, so you would think this is like a common concept. You have like the little fade from the number 2, and you have the receiver coming in behind him. When you're playing against zone coverage, typically you sit as that receiver. When you play against man, typically you keep running. It looked like Lil Jordan slowed down a little bit out of his break. And again, like Bo hit him right there, so maybe that's just the way it's called. Like there was no miscommunication, but felt like if he just didn't slow down, he could have given himself a little more separation. Same time, you still should just catch it though.
Yeah, but it's a zone defense, so you don't want to.
zone?
Yeah, it is zone. So you don't want to run it. You don't want to run necessarily out of this zone into the next defender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it looked like, maybe. I
So-
trust your judgment.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
inside linebacker's right there. I mean, the safety's coming down, but I think he has time, and he just needs to turn around and catch the ball quick.
Yeah.
Next play. This is one where I feel like, Bo does a right thing by stepping in the pocket, but I don't know where he's supposed to go with this football. This is like a dice route. So a dice is basically like you look at a 5 dice.
Yep.
That's the kind of route they're running. You got like a spot, sit down kind of over the ball. You got two flat routes, and then you got 2 deeper routes creating the dice on the
Yeah.
on the field. And if you go next, I mean, there's a body on the body. There's nowhere really for him to go with this ball. And at the same time, the O-lineman didn't do so well this play. So now he's getting pressure, has to step up. I think the best thing he could have did was try and get the ball to this, flat receiver or running back in the flat all the way down at the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
But nevertheless, he's under duress. He steps up. He tries to make a throw. I mean, this is where you just say, bad play, move on. But at the same time, you wish you had more time for Bo to find, this slot receiver running vertical, and that corner, eliminates his coverage and is kind of squatting instead of getting deep. Maybe he can find that if he has time. It just didn't work out right here.
And that receiver at the bottom is Michael Burton, which is why the corner just kind of leaves him.
Yep.
So it's like, what are you
trying to say? Say it. Say it with your chest.
It's Michael Burton. He's a real Nate Atkins out there.
You love Nate Atkins.
I do.
No
yeah.
one's a bigger fan of Nate Atkins.
Oh, totally.
Than you.
But I wouldn't say. He's not Cortland Sutton down there. If it's Cortland Sutton, you throw the ball to him.
Hey, Mike Burton had more catches than Marvin Mims in this game. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Marvin. That's another one of my big takeaways from this game. It felt like, for example, you watch last night. There's like this deep dig to Brandon Ayuk, and they pan downfield, and you're like, okay, Brandon Ayuk's gonna catch us on the left hash. But then as they go with the ball, you're like, wait, he's already way down there. Like he's already run all the way upfield. He's already run all the way across the field. It's pretty crazy versus this Broncos offense where it feels like it just takes so long for everybody to get into their route because, Josh Reynolds, Cortland Sutton, for all the strengths they have, they aren't especially fast. You put a Marvin Mims in there, and all of a sudden it just won't take as long, you wouldn't think, for some of those deep routes to develop. And you don't have to sit back there as long. And that to me is the biggest case for more Marvin Mims or Troy Franklin. It's just that these plays take an extra half second, and that's when the pressure gets there.
And I think with them, they're big on alignment. So I know that Brandon Ayuk is fast, but they're also not asking him to run his deep over from the numbers on the other
boundary,
side.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they're big on alignment. So they have him, 2 yards outside the tackle. Mm-hmm. So he's in that overspace very quickly as opposed to the time it takes for anybody to get over there from the other numbers. So I don't know. I think Marvin Mims is our best returner and can help us stretch the field. But as far as like a receiving threat right now, I feel like Cortland Sutton, Josh Reynolds, Vele are probably better receiving threats at this time.